Greetings from MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and Schools news and question and answer on Monday, March 31st, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's about 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Western European time. I think it's about 10:30 p.m. India time, with an invitation to join this WUAS news and question and answer on Mondays. It's open, uh, interested in your answers and your questions. And as we wait to see if people will join us, I'd like to share a little news with you further about developments in World University and School and the WUAS Educational Services Stores, WUAS Academic Press, planned in 7,159 known living languages with machine translation and machine learning as well as two wings. Uh, First, I hope World University and School and WUAS uh, Corporation, WUS Educational Services Stores can be a bright spot on information technology companies, tech companies, as a tech company, as an information technology company, as a set of 200 online free to students MIT OpenCourseWare centric uh, universities, a horizon for growth as we seek to develop an active board of directors and um, grow both wings, potentially hiring on both sides over the next 50 to 100 years, um, even as many as 2.5 million people, slightly bigger than Walmart, which is in I think around 20 out of 200 countries, and World University and School seeks to be in all 200 countries and in their main languages, as well as in all languages in the world, known living languages, 7,159 known living languages. I think in 2025, perhaps down from 7,164 known living languages in 2024 per the Ethnologue. So, agenda item 0, the recording of uh, World University and Schools, Monday, March 24th, 2025. Uh, World University and School WUS Press news and question and answer is posted and at youtube.com/ Scott McLeod World University /videos. Check it out. It focuses to some degree on WUAS accreditation and communications further with U.S. Congressman Mike Thompson in WUAS and free WUAS degrees, among many other things, including also extreme longevity. Those are all hashtags on Twitter and in LinkedIn. Agenda item 1. Received an email from uh, I think Alexander Headland in, I think, Edinburgh, Scotland, uh, offering possible help with learning management system that he's involved with. And they've developed some universities and schools with their learning management system. And World University and School replied to him in some of these regards. And in seeking to revolutionize education with machine learning and AI, dear Alexander Hudland, Headland, Hedland, question mark, in Edinburgh, Scotland, question mark, or who? And Ed Smythe, MD, who is the named WUAS Chief Medical Officer. Greetings. I'll add you to MIT OCW Centric Wiki uh, hashtag grow with Google WUAS, World University and School WUS's emailings. Startup WUS MIT OCW Centric Wiki hashtag grow with Google WUS, World University and School is very Google centric. And for example, translation and especially Google AI and ML platforms, responding to Alexander Headland and two devs work with universities in Scotland as well as their learning management system. And WUS has no money to speak of whatsoever. And regarding also WUAS classroom.google.com, which is Google's, I guess, learning management system. Classroom.google.com, which World University and School has been in for, I think, over 10 years, for example. And in planning free to students MIT OCW centric WUAS degrees in all 200 countries, including at Scotland, WUAS, Scotland World University and School. And the beginning university for Scotland is wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/Scotland. For free online bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school, or similar, and master's degrees, possibly collaborating with Fettes College High School with its relatively new IB diploma that they offer. And since I attended Fettes College in the first year sixth form in 1977 and 1978, and in all 200 countries, main languages, regarding Alexander Headland's, I think his name is, 4 points he was making in his outreach email regarding their learning management system. Save time with AI-powered student tracking, showcase achievements through dynamic digital portfolios, gain actionable insights with advanced analytics platforms, custom LMS learning management system with AI integration. I think Alexander Headland is from Scotland, and I think he also did the International Baccalaureate high school diploma process, which is an international standard for high schools. And I think he's also studied for 5 years in a chemical engineering program, and has perhaps a master's degree in those regards. So further to two devs and Alexander Headland's outreach email, WUS is also beginning the accreditation process with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, with offices in the greater Philadelphia, PA area, and seeks to meet these requirements. And I sent him two links: the pre-application determination of eligibility to apply procedures and the pre-applicant minimum eligibility requirements guidelines at the Middle States Commission on Higher Education, MSCHE. And further, to two devs, Alexander Headland will address some of these questions in next Monday's open 3/31/25 WUS News and Q&A at 10 a.m. Pacific time if you'd like to talk further. So I invited him to attend this WUS News and Question and Answer, and he had also invited me to meet with him or with two devs, and I don't see him joining today's WUS News and Question and Answer. I just checked the email for this, and if Alexander Headland and with their work with Scottish universities, for example, and other educational organizations and schools could somehow focus our accreditation process. Um, it would be very interesting to further our possible talking with Alexander Headland and his organization, who may have helped these other schools, for example. So putting this into the WS News and question and answer for 3/31/25, and perhaps he will watch this video and perhaps get back. Um, I think his organization, he may be a consultant for them and also for Deloitte, uh, perhaps based in Edinburgh, but Zwei Devs, or two in German, zweidevs.com, zweidevs.com, I think are based, uh, at least maybe for coders, in Pakistan, Building 36, B1, Block 10, Sector B1, Lahore, 54,000, Pakistan. And that is an interesting um, relationship for World University and School too, as we seek, I think, to develop our own learning management system approach, but in further seeking to revolutionize education. And for Scotland World University and School. In my experience, Scots um, have an affinity for their country, and there might be interest um, by Alexander, for example, uh, in growing Scotland World University and School to help Scots, for example, with free, highest quality MIT OCW centric Grow with Google WUS education and free degrees, for example, online from home for Scots. So we'll see if World University and School hears back from Alexander further. Agenda item 2, a realistic virtual Earth ahead. And see Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Tulify AIWUS on Twitter article above in the first part of my email to about 1,575 people that, 5,075 people that I email inviting to this WUS news and question and answer on Mondays, and regarding a realistic virtual Earth. So this is a huge envisioning process and a huge coding process ahead. And it has to do with creating all museums ever in virtual reality in all languages. So in a realistic virtual Earth for museums, and being able to visit them, like visiting a physical museum, but online in a virtual Earth. Think also Second Life, the 3D group buildable virtual world that was a little cartoonesque, but is an interesting model for example, all of us being able to build out in Google Street View with Time Slider, and for museums to add pictures we might take, for example, of art objects in museums to the museum that perhaps World University and School or Google itself will create in potentially Google Street View with Time Slider beyond Google's Arts and Culture project. So, and for university research and university creation. So visiting and wiki creating, hashtag wiki creating, hashtag all museums ever in a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for museums, thinking hashtag G Street View with Time Slider, potentially conceptually with hashtag G Gemini AI as docents. and beyond that, professors and um, new approaches to interacting conversationally in a realistic virtual Earth with Gemini artificial intelligence conversational art, AI. As docents, yes, and other artificial intelligences too. And for hashtag university research, WUAS, but also all university researchers in all universities will certainly benefit from all museums ever in all languages in a realistic virtual earth for museums for research and in all 200 countries and at World University and SCH and in main languages. And see uh, Tulify AI article by Peter Norvig, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University in School. Wow. Uh, World University in School also retweeted with that set of tweets a Musée du Louvre um, set of Twitter posts regarding a Paris Edinburgh uh, piece, object art, and um, or two, and which was in French as well as in English, and had a docent, a female docent, introducing these objects in this video from the Louvre, uh, introducing these objects, art objects. Um, how can we potentially add such a docent, a French-speaking docent, um, introducing a couple of objects of art from the Louvre to a realistic virtual earth for museums and grow from there, perhaps into interactive conversational avatar agents with Gemini AI, uh, where docents will become more and more uh, knowledgeable as the databases that inform them grow and increase. And see also a paper I wrote in tourism studies in the UC Berkeley anthropology department uh, in 2001, titled Gazing at the Box: Tourism in the Context of the Internet and Globalization, Internetity, uh, which uh, had a focus on the Louvre, the virtual Louvre, a virtual Louvre museum, visiting the Louvre Museum at the time online, as if we could visit it in an emerging virtual Earth and with parallels to on the ground visiting of the Louvre, and but newly in the context of the internet, where this paper uh, also theoretically looks at um, developments from large conditions of being human, from modernity to postmodernity to advertising discourse to internetity, and how the information technology revolution potentially will and is reshaping, superseding, and encompassing um, all aspects of tourism studies, for example, including museum visiting. And World University and School seeks to create a realistic virtual earth for museum for all of us to visit online from home, and for university research and in which all of us could create further and grow and build out these museums, all museums ever in all languages. Google Street View with time slider, time slide back to 1896 when the Library of Congress was built with its museum objects in the US. Time slide back to the 1500s when the Louvre was a very different museum. Might have been a castle at that time, but also perhaps construable as a museum in Paris. And walk through the Louvre in 1555 and 1589 and compare it with, say, the Louvre in 1789 during the time of the French Revolution, and similarly. So, a fascinating approach to visiting museums and for university research. Agenda item 3, how best to begin with uh, Google AI Studio, a new artificial intelligence uh, tool that Google has just shared, which is remarkable. aistudio.google.com. Is it a large language model? I'm not sure. But how best to begin with hashtag Google AI Studio, building hashtag realistic virtual Harbin hot springs, hashtag Harbin warm pool. And so further, building a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs and a realistic virtual Earth as well. So with Google AI Studio, we can build a realistic virtual Harbin. We can also build a realistic virtual Earth and see these two incredible replies from AI Studio, Google AI Studio, regarding questions about how best to build a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs with Google AI Studio, and starting with a uh, tiltable in digital glasses, for example, onsen hot springs, Japanese word, video from YouTube with a slightly new technology for video, for YouTube videos, which make them tiltable. You could put a smartphone in Google Cardboard or a digital mask or whatever comes after that, information technology development wise, and turn your head in one direction and see something different, and turn your head in a different direction. And as if you were visiting from the back of your digital glasses, a whole new aspect of a realistic virtual Earth, and seeing a whole new aspect of a realistic virtual Earth because of this, I'll call it tiltability. So see the two incredible replies about how to build a realistic virtual Earth from aistudio.google.com in my blog post from, uh, I think, Saturday, uh, which was the 29th, I think, but it starts with uh, the natural phenomenon and images of this, of Fifth Water Hot Springs, Diamond Fork. Check out those two replies from Google's AI Studio regarding how to build a realistic virtual Earth, suggesting all of the technologies and the processes that would be involved, potentially with Google or in other ways. So, in a related vein, how best to begin with Google AI Studio building out hashtag realistic virtual Harbin, hashtag Heart Consciousness Church, uh, hashtag Harbin warm pool, sitting on bench, on the front bench of the Harbin warm pool, at the front end for soaking meditation, hashtag soaking meditation from hashtag home bathtub with this great tiltable in hashtag digital glasses onsen YouTube information technology, and check out the YouTube video in these regards. So this is all expanded in the Fifth Water Hot Springs Diamond Fork blog post from, I think, Saturday, 2 days ago. Check it out. Agenda item 4, just checking to see if people might join us. Agenda item 4, how will, this has to do with World University and Schools planned medical schools, 200 medical schools in 200 countries, much online, but also some potentially in the back of Toyota ambulance vans in an innovative and exploratory way. So, how will hashtag medical school match day, which I think all medical students go through when they finish their medical degree and are placed for their residency or similar. How will hashtag medical school match day work for online hashtag MIT OCW centric wiki at World Univ and SCH is 250. Hashtag WUS Med SCHS in Twitter is the hashtags. In the US, all 50 US states, and in all 200 countries in their main languages, with the World University Medical School beginning medical school wiki page in this set of tweets, and potentially in back of a hashtag Toyota ambulance vans, and for hashtag telerobotic surgery, partly by hashtag humanoid robots, e.g., THR3s, as MD professors of surgery as well. And reposting from LinkedIn also on LinkedIn, the Harvard Medical School's match day post from LinkedIn. So can World University and School code humanoid robots to become MD professors of surgery? For example, THR3s, Toyota humanoid robot 3s in the future. And would they be the professors for the medical degrees, in part for World University and School's matriculated med students, and who would then thus have a say, perhaps, in how medical school match day would work for WUS medical students. Agenda item 4. I received an email from Kaiser Permanente, Northern California, which I'm in, and which also has, Kaiser Permanente also has a medical school. I think it's in Southern California. And the title of the email was Health Benefits of Acupuncture, Virtual Care Options, Simple at-home workouts. And World University and School is seeking to work with Kaiser Permanente in a variety of ways. And the named WUS Chief Medical Officer at World University and School's Academic Med Center is Ed Smythe, MD, who lives in Berkeley, who began his medical career as an acupuncturist, and I think chose to go on to med school, perhaps because he couldn't make a living quite well enough, couldn't really make a living as an acupuncture medicine practitioner in the Bay Area. So could this Kaiser Permanente email also be something World University and School could build on for growing World University and School in a new ways, with its also focus on virtual care options? Kaiser Permanente, since the beginnings of the graphical user interface on the web since 1993 or 1994, now has quite a significant history with virtual care and telemedicine and telehealth, which World University and School could learn a lot from. And in World University and School, seeking to create an academic medical center in a realistic virtual earth for medicine, potentially in WUS multimedia rooms, with WUS hospital rooms for aging reversal and extreme longevity, genetics as well. Potentially out of the shop in Canyon, California 94516, potentially for yoga as well. So could such a realistic virtual earth for medicine and a WUS multimedia room and a WUS hospital room also become a WUS yoga hall for exploring the health benefits of yoga, as well as possibly for acupuncture online from home as well, with telemedicine. So agenda item 5, this is a brainstorming agenda item regarding the Lark in the Morning beautiful musical instruments store in Berkeley, with a vast array of musical instruments available online, no, physically in the store, um, including they had available in stock the smallest recorder musical instrument available, the Garkline Piccolo recorder, which I was interested in getting and got from them for a birthday present for my mother, who so was amazed when I went into the store how many musical instruments from so many different countries there were in the store. And in these regards, I met a very interesting, I think he may be the general manager um, of the Lark in the Morning store, but I'm not entirely sure. Kevin Hughes, who helped me get this Garkline Piccolo recorder. And so glad that they had it. Um, and he also happened to play the bagpipes, the border pipes, which he played for me a bit on uh, in the store. I did not play the Scottish small pipes for him in that store, but shared with him afterward the Scottish small pipes and border pipes wiki school or wiki subject page at World University and School, and potentially for uh, coming into communication with Lark in the Morning and Kevin Hughes further for growing World University and School, uh, possibly online music schools in real time for real time music making. I also shared with Kevin um, Pi cryptocurrency, Stanford Mind Pi cryptocurrency free money daily, which one can get um, simply by uh, downloading the app onto your smartphone with this invitation code from mindpi.com/SGKMAC. SGKMAC is the information code, and then start to mine it every 24 hours to get 3 to 5 Pi coins a day for free that accumulate in this app. And also, therefore, engage the MindPi process for potentially World University and School, which seeks to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet and potentially to end poverty with Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency as well. So I shared this with Kevin Hughes, who is a bit of a hippie, sort of coming out of the freedom-seeking movements of the 1960s and 70s, where Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency has a kind of hippie element too, where one can get free money daily simply by mining an app because Stanford PhDs coded a cryptocurrency around the pi conception, the pi being the infinite number, I think, um, and where Stanford Mind Pi cryptocurrency on our smartphones and perhaps in their computer systems just continues to go up towards infinity all the time. Um, so hoping that possibly the WS um, music school might emerge out of some of the instruments in Lark in the Morning, the vast array of instruments they have. Could we begin to play them in a realistic virtual earth for musical instruments? Agenda item. So moving on to the other wing of World University and School. The above was all the MIT OCW centric World University and School wing with an orientation towards free degrees and also as wiki schools for open wiki teaching and wiki learning. Um, and the other wing of World University and School is the WUAS Corporation. It's the second of two WUS wings. It's a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California. And it's also the academic press at WUAS planned in 7,159 known living languages with machine learning and machine translation. Uh, so I'm going to revisit a agenda item I shared at the last minute last week, Monday, March 24th, 2025. This week, Monday, March 31st, 2025. And regarding possibly WUS law schools in 200 countries and in their main languages, and AI classification or categorization software, and for investors too, which is why this is in the WS Corporation side. Could our law schools in 200 countries in their main languages create AI classification software, categorization software, and for investors too? And regarding what Stanford Law School Stanford Rock Center panelist in a course called Advancing Enterprise AI Governance from Action to Insight, AI Governance and Advancing Enterprise. What a panelist there in Ask an Expert panel, her name is Annie Froelich, mentioned regarding uh, a lack of AI classification and categorization software, and for things like national security too. So uh, the panel was on March 20th, Thursday, about 10 days ago. And it was on investor due diligence with speakers Annie Froelich and Caitlin Courtney, both at Cooley in Palo Alto, Cooley Law Firm. And I asked them in the text chat regarding Annie Froelich's observation about lack of AI categorization software. Dear Annie Froelich and Caitlin Courtney, in MIT OCW-centric Wiki World University and School seeking to create online WUS law schools in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages, and also to build out related AI data sets in these languages. For example, with Wikidata, the backend structured knowledge database, part of Wikimedia and Wikipedia. How best from action to insight to action, advancing enterprise AI governance to help. For example, with CFIUS, it's a national federal government agency that scrutinizes, I think, AI software, for example, and also the origin of the origin, what citizenships the makers of such software hold regarding foreign national questions, and in building out data sets, in WS building out data sets in all 200 countries' main and official languages, for example, and which also Caitlin mentioned in her online talk that preceded this interactive panel, where, or I think she mentioned it online too, uh, the identity of the people who make these AI data sets, for example, does come to inform many of the outcomes potentially of AI and machine learning. What the AI and machine learning might tell us in reply to our questions, for example, our prompts, um, and World University and School. And if, for example, foreign nationals make AI data sets that have a focus on, for example, national on weapon systems or similar, this is something where AI um, categorization software might help with protecting for example, the US and the other 200 countries from challenges of uh, AI software, machine learning software that might be used to harm people. World University and School having a Quaker focus and being a friendly Quaker leading might also offer approaches to building out these data sets, such data sets, AI data sets in our law schools to help with some of these questions that they raised. Annie Froelich and Caitlin Courtney, and in doing investor due diligence, creating investor due diligence AI software as well, which World University and School might be able to help with our law schools further. Agenda item B. So having spent time at Harbin Hot Springs in the past 3 weeks, coming back to Harbin for the first time after the Valley Fire of September 12th, 2016, and where I am right now, which is about 2 miles from Harbin Hot Springs. I'll close this WUS news and question and answer with the street signs for the Harbin Retreat Center and Harbin Hot Springs Road, which are just behind me from where I sit. Am exploring creating a new edition of hashtag Naked Harbin Ethnography, published in 2016 at the hashtag Academic Press WUAS, at WUS Press, at World Univ and SCH, and publishing and creating a new edition of Naked Harbin Ethnography from a realistic virtual Harbin. Think from Google Street View with TimeSlider, a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs, and potentially to coincide with the opening of a realistic virtual Earth, realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs. And see Peter Norvig's incredible Toolify AI WS article in Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University and School, updated March 2nd, 2024, which mentions a virtual Harbin and studying of bliss and enjoyment and education as well in a virtual Harbin. So create a new edition of Naked Harbin Ethnography, potentially to be published from a realistic virtual Harbin in Google Street View with TimeSlider, both to paper and to new digital hardware, for example, the back of digital glasses, publish a book in the back of digital glasses, as well as to, say, multimedia rooms, publish a book in a multimedia room, and make this new edition or the first edition, the 2016 edition, available in the actual Harbin bookstore, in the reception office, along with the opening of the virtual realistic virtual Harbin and realistic virtual Earth in 2026. This would be fantastic and a fascinating development in the Naked Harbin Ethnography, hippies, warm pools, counterculture, clothing optionality, and virtual Harbin book that first came out in 2016. And that set of tweets retweets a tweet regarding first lines of hashtag Naked Harbin Ethnography. After you check in at the gate at Harbin Hot Springs, a Harbin resident who has worked there for years often says, hashtag go play. How to explore a realistic virtual Harbin at Harbin Book for hashtag EthnoWiki Virtual World Graphy, where we can all add Harbin, our knowledge of Harbin, our Harbin experiences to a realistic virtual Harbin, and potentially for play. This would be a very creative potential project of creating new Harbin experiences and also new ethnographic approaches to Harbin Hot Springs and STEM project approaches to Harbin Hot Springs as well. I posted this tweet some months ago. Uh, how to explore Go Play at Harbin Hot Springs, both at Harbin as well as in a realistic virtual Harbin. And with the release of a new edition of Naked Harbin Ethnography, um, and the release and the opening of a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs and a realistic virtual Earth, that's really happening as digital technologies, and make perhaps the first edition or the new edition of the paper version of Naked Harbin Ethnography available in the Harbin bookstore in 2026. Uh, WS Press and World University and School are looking toward this. So that's the news and question and answer for today, Monday, March 31st, 2025. I'm Scott McLeod, and see you next month um, at on April 7th, 2025 at the WS News and Question and Answer, which I'll post to World University and Schools Twitter feeds, twitter.com/world univ and sch, twitter.com/WUS PRESS, as well as to the two blog posts for today at worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mcleod.blogspot.com, as well as first to the main YouTube channel currently for World University and School, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University and School. And I just want to share with you the Harbin Hot Springs Retreat Center and Harbin Hot Springs Road signs, which are just outside my door. The sun has come out, the rain has stopped here. So here behind me are the Harbin Hot Springs Road sign and the Harbin Hot Springs Retreat Center. And I'll see if I can, there's the road into Harbin. Harbin is about 2 miles down that road. And come visit it in a realistic virtual Harbin, which we might be able to make remarkably with Google AI Studio. All right, until next week, come into conversation with World University and School on Twitter or LinkedIn. If you know students who may be interested in matriculating at World University and School for free online MIT open courseware centric degrees in a Google Grow with Google WS program, let World University and School know. Until next week, bye for now.